I'm not entering every video.
He can't just manage and not enter inside a video.
I can't enter. I can't enter the video.
You've entered the video already.
Yes,
So what are you saying, boy?
nothing.
You're not saying anything.
Hey,
Who's that?
something deep is like.
What did I say? Why are you talking like Oba? Babe, this boy is not listening. He's not listening. You know what? I'm not your friend. Go and give that hanger to your mom, and I'm not your friend again. Not just your mom. I'm also not your friend. Sorry, 1 second, guys. Still trying to set up. Yo, okay, baby, kill on Shelley. Yeah. Hello? I'm in my house. I'll soon be leaving. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. No problem. No problem. Yeah. All right, then. All right, guys. How are you doing? Question and answer.
Hi.
I'm not your friend. He's talking like his cousin who has a lisp. And I'm very angry with him. We've told him to stop that rubbish, but he won't listen. So he's not going to show today at all. I'm really upset with him. How can a child that talks normally all of a sudden start doing te because his cousin is doing te? Someone said I should flog you. Go and bring the belt. Let me flog you.
No.
You don't want me to flog you. So why will you now be doing te? If you do te again, you know what I will do? I will give you to the monster so the monster can take you away. You want to go with the monster? Let me just hear you do te again. You will sleep inside the monster's house. Can you imagine how annoying? The child that speaks normally. He's been speaking since he was 9 months. Back in the day, now slap you go use reset that lisp. I dey tell you. If na pikin wey dey born with lisp, I go understand. Say okay, na lisp problem the pikin get. But as they no born the pikin with lisp, make the pikin no start to. The cousin was born with a lisp, so he had speech difficulties, and the cousin is very brilliant. The cousin is a near genius. So you will not give us the genius the cousin is giving, and you now be giving us the whoa. Look at him. He's not even sober. All these children. All right, guys. Today I'm going to have a quick question and answer session, and I said I was going to talk about the miracle of medical science, because a lot of people still believe that you can get a miraculous healing from malaria. Please, guys. You see, smallpox was worshipped as a god in Africa. Today, smallpox was eradicated by medical science. Medical science could not, religion could not eradicate smallpox. Prayers could not eradicate smallpox. Miracles could not eradicate smallpox. Now, you see, there's a selfish way of thinking that was brought upon us by our ancestors. That's why you have to be very careful. I never take my doctrines from Abraham or Isaac. You know, that Isaac sowed in the land during the famine and God blessed only Isaac. It doesn't work in 2017. No. Because only Isaac will be blessed, the nation will continue to suffer, and at the end of the day, the nation will come and become a consequence for Isaac. I don't know if I'm making sense to you. That me, I'm receiving my purse is a very white people don't behave like that. They look for a cure for something in such a way that it benefits the entire society. People with Ebola, for instance, let's forget all the controversies and the conspiracy theories about where Ebola originated from. Let's just forget about that for today. But at the end of the day, we see the effort by a society, for a society, not by a sect or by a religion or by a group of individuals or by an individual for that individual. I don't know if I'm making sense to you. Until we start coming together as humanity, as humans, as people, we will continue to be selfish, especially from this side of the world. And how has selfishness helped us? One person prays, and in his mind he believes God answers him. Let me give you an example. God blesses you now and you buy a Lamborghini. Where are you going to drive it? So until God blesses the nation as a whole with good leadership, with good strategy, with good decision making, with forward thinking individuals, whatever blessing you have, at the end of the day, is still not a full blessing. It's not a full blessing. You are afraid. See, me, I keep watches in the bank, afraid to wear them. So what's the use of the watch? It's the bank that is enjoying them. I don't know if I'm making sense to you. So until you're ready to move forward as a society, we will continue in the buffoonery that we're currently enjoying. And that goes on to medicine until we're ready to... How can a Chinese woman... 90% of the malaria cases in the world occur in sub-Saharan Africa. So how come a Chinese woman was the one that found a cure, this artesunate cure for malaria, and she even got half a Nobel Peace Prize for it? Her name is Tu Yu. You could check her out. How come? Because we're busy praying for what other people... Now, let me mess with you, yeah? Malaria reportedly kills about 1 million people a year. So Tu Yu's invention and research and hard work through medical science has saved millions of people. Now let me ask you a question. How many churches have healed millions of people? You hear of one story here, then you hear of another story that the guy did the same thing and the thing didn't work. I don't know if I'm making sense to you. Yes, I believe in healing. Yes, I believe in religion. Yes, I believe in Christ. I'm a Christian. I'm born again. But after reading that letter that guy wrote, and I'm going to read it to you all for those of you who missed it. This is a Jewish man. One lady came to my page to argue with me, said the Jews did not bring Christianity. It's like all of us are reading different Bibles. Like all of us are just reading different Bibles. Anyway, before I talk about that, let me read this guy's story and we'll be rounding off. I'm just going to take one question. So get your questions ready, guys. I'm an Israeli that worked on an agricultural project in Plateau State, Nigeria for 5 years. I want to tell you that Nigerians are the friendliest, most hospitable people I've ever known. They are let down by their corrupt leaders who are not content with stealing millions but need billions. The average Nigerian is poor and has to be self-sufficient to survive. There is no government aid. School fees, hospital fees, all have to be paid for by yourself. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. Religion is another way of controlling the population. Nigerians are very religious. They are very naive and believe everything they're told in the name of religion. I've seen that happen. I have seen it happen. When a Geo climbs the pulpit and says you can't enter heaven if you don't pay tithe, and we remember the thief on the cross, and we remember how true that statement was, because let's remember the story of the thief. You know, the thief says, "Remember me in your kingdom," said that to God, and God said, "Soldiers, let him down so he can quickly go and pay his tithe so he can meet heaven. No. Matthew 25, reading from 32. Jesus was asked, what does it take? As Jesus himself said, I'll separate the sheep from the goats. At what point was tithe included in that? If Jesus said, I'm taking you to heaven, this was going to take you to heaven, there's no tithe there. Then one Geo now wakes up one morning and sees that the account balance of the church is going down, and now decides to start putting curses and fear. And nobody's seeing that as a hate statement too. As far as I'm concerned, that's a hate statement. How can you say, so all the Muslims that don't pay tithe to your church, they are all going to hellfire? All the people that are Christians but do not pay tithe, they are all going to hellfire. All the Buddhists, the Hindus, everybody's going to hellfire except you and your tithers. Come on, that's a hate statement if there ever was one. But of course. Anyway, the best way forward for Nigeria is to empower their women, and who are the real power in Nigeria. Let the women have the power over their bodies and their lives, and you'll see that Nigeria will progress. I totally agree with that. I know a woman whose ex-husband, after being in court for almost 7 years, is still going around harassing her life. I don't know if I'm making sense to you. Women in Nigeria don't own their bodies, and until they're ready to own their bodies, now, the last thing they said is liberate Nigeria from primitive religious beliefs. Our religious beliefs are not just backward; they are primitive, Stone Age religious beliefs. And Nigeria will prosper. You see, the real prosperity in Nigeria is to eradicate those die-by-fire prayers. Eradicate those tithing is what works for me ideologies. Eradicate, let me come and pray for you and you get a healing. My pastor healed a mad person. All those things need to be eradicated. The mad person that was healed by that Port Harcourt church is still at the junction. He resumed his work back at the junction 3 days after the convention left, and people parted with their money. I don't know who it is that I'm speaking to, but medical science is one of the world's greatest miracles. If it could eradicate smallpox that we worshipped as a religion, I believe it is much more crucial to the lives of human beings than even we are ready to admit. So, the questions now. I'm taking questions. Just one question. Supposed to be a question and answer session. If I can answer the question very quickly, you know, I always like to reference the Bible, but if I can answer very quickly, I'll take another question. So one quick question. Is it right for a pastor to disfellowship his members because they refuse to pay tithe? Of course it is wrong. First of all, nobody should even be paying tithe in the first place. Paying tithe is a sin. It is foolishness according to the Bible. It's part of the law. It's an aspect of the law. Matthew 23 clearly says that. So anybody who disfellowships his members for not paying tithe is a wicked person, because he himself should not be collecting tithe. Collecting the tithe, oh goodness, some people just don't know when to call. Paying the tithe in itself is the sin, nothing else. And you know the annoying part, the phone that is ringing is so far away, and it will continue to ring. And I believe it is not an important person. Can you see? Yes. Hello? Hello? Yeah. Yes. Please call me back, please. If I don't pick the call now, we'll be here waiting. Sorry, guys. Hope we're done with that. All right, we're back now. So sorry, I just had to get him off the phone. All right, so one more question. Lottery or gambling? Islam is against it, but Christianity, I don't know. Do we have clear cut. Everything these days we have to. Sorry, 1 second. Call me back. Call me back. Hello? Call me back. Call me back. It's so frustrating when I know I can't say Christianity is against even astrology. The Bible is against astrology, but not Christianity. Can I really say Christianity is? You see, there are a lot of things that people just import from the Old Testament, and it's dangerous. It depends on what you do with the astrology. So there's a story here that I have, the anti-gambling Sunday, a biblical case against gambling. So let's see what the case is, where it's coming from. Okay. It says, Romans 14:21. In reality, even Christians who are not personally hurt by it are not free to participate in an industry that preys on the weak and the poor. Then they go to Genesis. God gave Adam dominion. They try to twist it into it. Exodus, Proverbs. Gambling is a way. Yeah, I don't gamble, and I'm never gonna tell anyone to gamble. I don't believe in gambling, but that it is against Christianity is a very hard. It's a hard thing for me to say. Do you understand? Okay. I'm just looking for all the Bible verses they quoted. Proverbs 15, a greedy man brings trouble to his family. There are some people that just like gambling. It's Romans 14:23, Christian life is to be lived in dependence on God to meet all needs. Then why don't you sit at home? Abi? Philippians 4:19, which they use for a lot of 419. Jesus will do it. Can you picture Jesus sitting on a slot machine with a cup full of quarters? Well, Jesus didn't gamble in the Bible, but there's some things he didn't expressly tell us not to do. I believe that gambling would make you lose money. It's a logical principle as a human being. It's something I don't want to be involved in because it can be addictive. But to now start tying Christianity around it, I won't do that. Somebody needs explanation for Romans 16:16. I believe I've explained that already, but I'll just quickly touch it. Romans 16:16. Let's all read it together. Just like Forex is not exactly gambling. No. Forex is buying and selling. Forex is trading. You go into the market. Oops. Market's not looking too good. You go into the market and what do? You buy and you sell. Okay? Romans 16:16 says, greet one another with a holy kiss. My mom's country, let me read it from 14. Greetings, give my greetings to Phlegon, Hermes, Patobas, Hermas, and the brothers and sisters who meet with them. Give my greetings to Philogos, Julia, Nereus and his sister, and to Olympus and all the believers who meet with them. Greet each other in Christian love. All churches of Christ send you their greetings. So some say kiss, some say love. Different cultures, a kiss on the cheek, man to man, brother to brother. Even in Romania, you do it. Salute one another with a holy kiss. That's how Romanians greet each other. You understand? And that's how a lot of other people across the world, they are not saying you should kiss and put tongue. That's not what they are saying. Just a kiss on the cheek. In the Arab world, among the Jews, even among the Romanians, I've seen it happen. So I don't see it as... Oh wow, somebody donated $120 to Posh Mama for Nolan. Thank you so much. Her name is Diane. Thank you so much, Diane. Some people say even the Italians greet like that. So, final question. So, someone asked me to explain Exodus 22:20. So let's do that quickly. Exodus 22:20. Okay, so I'm rounding off right now. So, whoever sacrifices to any god other than the Lord must be destroyed. But I think we all knew that now. Exodus 22:20, Avi. Let me read what's be there. You must not allow a sorceress to live. Anyone who has sexual relations with an animal must certainly be put to death. Anyone who sacrifices to any god other than the Lord must be destroyed. You must not mistreat or oppress foreigners in any way. Remember, you yourself were once foreigners in the land of Egypt. So what exactly are you needing explanation for? This is one of the 613 laws of the Old Testament, which of course we have all done away with. But remember, the Lord our God is a jealous God. So as much as possible, we uphold anything. Do you understand? Anything that puts another God near us, we don't take it. That's why we stand against money. And the Bible in the New Testament is very careful. It's very clear. You cannot serve God and money. Okay? The Bible says, if a man seduces a virgin who is not engaged to anyone, this is Exodus 22:16. If a man seduces a virgin who's not engaged to anyone and has sex with her, he must pay the customary bride price and marry her. But if the father refuses to let him marry her, the man must still pay him an amount equal to the bride price of a virgin. So that's the offense in the Bible, according to the law. So those of you going to the law, once you sleep with a woman outside wedlock, all you need to do is pay her bride price. Is that what we're really doing now? Can a pastor be humble and use private jet? Absolutely not. There's no humility in a private jet. Jigga is a pilot. He'll explain that to you clearly. Okay. What's the chronological antecedent of Cain's wife? Does it mean people lived before Adam and Eve? We're going to talk about that tomorrow. But in my opinion, yes. In my opinion, evolution still happened. It is just that God wanted to put his own seed. That's why he made us in his own image. Because how else do you explain it? There's a clear record of Adam's children in the Bible, and there's no woman among them. At least before, there's Cain, Abel. Then after that, the next thing you see is Seth. So at that time, they did not have daughters. So where did he get and Eve did not come to the world with a sister. So please, and they did not sleep with their mother. I hope not, because even that is not particularly clear. Is it right to sow seed like money in the church? Absolutely wrong doctrine. The only seed that was sown in the Bible was real seeds. Don't put your money in the church. It's not going to yield anything. The church is a recycler of money. You don't invest in something that's not productive. The church is not productive in the sense of it's not buying and selling anything. It's not productive. It's recycling your money. So sowing your money, investing your money in something that's not productive is not a good thing. All right, guys, I think this is as far as we can go. Thank you so much for being a part of today's session. I'm not going to be on tomorrow. I usually rest on Saturdays, and on Sundays we'll be having our full session live on all our mediums. So any questions Nobody from Facebook ever asks questions. That's the trip. All right, guys. Love you all. Take good care of yourselves and see you on Sunday. Somebody said I should flog you. Go and bring the belt. Let me flog you.
No.
You don't want me to flog you?